In this AIS Sports podcast, Akeem Spence talks the financials of opting out.
Opting out, I feel like it's a really good option for guys that are on the bubble because it kind of secures them some money for the future. If they aren't on a football team and everything like that, guys that got guarantees, it really doesn't matter because they'd have made enough money in the league and are going to continue to make enough money into the league that. To the point, it's not going to really matter. But speaking for guys that's on the bubble, I mean, they all need to opt out because that's the majority. And if the majority opts out, then it's like, yeah, you got your top guys, but they can't go out and win a whole game for you by themselves. They're not going to take every snap, the guys with all the guarantees and everything, because they're fine with playing. They're going to make their whatever the salaries set for them to make. So at the end of the day, that's all they really see. And I find that really just selfish and gut-wrenching. But at the same time, I get as a man, you got to do what you got to do. But at the same time, you got to speak up for your brothers and the lesser people that help you achieve all your goals, because you just don't make all those plays to go to the Pro Bowl by yourself. It takes a team. How they preach one when we're in the team meeting, but, in the world of business and, brotherhood, we're all individuals competing against one another. And it's like, how are we ever going to be successful and get what we want as a union and as players? Because as we know, the PA, they pushed up the opt-out date when guys are at the busiest time. Guys are in camp, so they can't get educated on everything they need to get educated on. It's not enough hours in a day.
Right. And, I mean, what about for you, in your comments, is it from a safety standpoint, or is there another
Oh man, it's from just the aspect of just somebody that's caring for the majority, and yes, it's health reasons. Why? Because you look at America, we still don't have this thing figured out. But speaking on Florida, Florida, we opened up a lot of places, but then a lot of places end up closing because why? The rates went up. People were going outside. And at the same time, the government provided no assistance for the people. And it's like, what do you want people to do? Sit in their house and just melt? And that's gut-wrenching because, it's health. And people, and I feel like guys and that's in the league, they need to start taking care of their mental and obviously their physical. But, we're so wrapped up in playing the game that we've been playing since we were little. Guys don't know they don't know nothing else, and it's hurtful because the advisors and the agents that they have around them never really show them how to truly grow their wealth, and they just feel like they always have to run back to football because that's the only way they know how to make money. And, also, football, it drives your ego, when you're making big plays and stuff like that. So I'm speaking from all standpoints, and just I feel like the NFL, they need to have the proper structure in place. From these guys, from the time they walk into the league, you send them to, they did away with the symposium, but you put them through all these, informative courses, but how are they going to apply that to the, real life?
Right.
Some can, some can't. We all come from different demographic backgrounds, so it's like, why isn't that structure in place to, help them? Because you have the agent that's in their pocket, you have the advisor that's in their pocket, but nobody's showing these guys how to be successful at life and, how to take care of their health. They're pumping. One thing I have a problem with the NFL is just the pill epidemic because they're one of the biggest, they're giving guys the drugs to go out and play, the Toradol shots and all that. And it's like, that stuff kills your mental because you feel like Superman on Sunday, but then when you get home, you don't want to feel like that when you're with your loved ones and your kids. And then you wake up Monday morning just feeling like you were in a car wreck. And guess what? You're going to have to do that the following week. You're going to have to just find a way to get your body somewhat okay and end you up on Sunday to go out and perform. Why? Because you're based off performance.
Yeah. And obviously the NFLPA and the NFL had their agreement this year. I mean, the players agreed, got a new CBA. And, look, I'm either side. I do some work with the NFLPA. I have no opinion, but it's important that the NFLPA and the NFL, they do offer players the mental, that's a big push for them. all the benefits that the NFLPA and the NFL offers the players during their career and after their career, but also something about this whole rule, the opt-out rule, is the credited season and the ability to earn that if you don't have like an underlying health issue. So tell me, how important is getting that credited season? You don't get that credited season if you voluntarily opt out.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, I don't even care about the credited season. I just care about the guys' health and their well-being, and I feel like the PA, they don't care about that because, one, when was the CBA voted on? When guys were in the off-season
Right.
with their families, just with their loved ones. So it's like the CBA wasn't really of no importance. And I felt like the NFL and the PA did that for a certain reason, so guys couldn't pay attention. And then you have these agents telling guys to vote yes. So guys are going to listen to these trusted people that they hired. So that I have a major problem with. And also, could you repeat the rest of your question so I can answer that as well?
The main thing, in my opinion, is the credited season versus the non-credited season, because there's a huge difference if you're a guy that only you end your career. Just let's say, you have more than you're good, you're vested. But if you're not a vested NFL player, wouldn't it be hard for those types of guys to credited season isn't that important? Being a vested player is really important versus for the better.
Yeah, no, I agree with you being vested, but at the same time, it's being safe as well. So that's why I said that doesn't really matter. But being a young guy, this is your first year. You want to play great, but it's just open your eyes, look at all the stipulations that's going on. It's like, are you willing to put yourself and your family at risk just for this game that that's going to eat you up and spit you out when they're done with you? And can you live with that? So that's how I would answer that question, man, because just speaking from a vested vet,
right.
Yeah, you want to get your years in, but this is a different year from any other year in sports, period.
Right.
You see. No, go ahead.
What if you're a guy you had a great year last year, and you're looking at this as opportunity cost? Like, that's where I'm so stuck, is the opportunity as to what you can, being out there, being seen. Like, that's what I'm going back and forth on.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How do young guys usually get seen in preseason, correct?
Correct.
That's how they get seen. But didn't the NFL already cancel all 4 preseason games?
True. You're right.
Then it's like, how are those guys going to get their audition? Because I know when I was a rookie, I played the whole 4th preseason game. That's how I got my audition for all 32 teams. So my question is to you is, how are guys going to get their audition? Is it going to be in practice? Because they're not practicing right now. Right now, guys are just working out. It's this glorified workout. So it's those 90 guys you have. You already know during the season you're going to get down to 53, and it's like some guys are just out there going to be camp bodies, and they're not even going to make close to 10,000 over the 4 or 5 months that they're there. So that I have a huge problem with. Because preseason has already been canceled, so that audition for those 4 games is wiped out. And you know what I'm saying? And what are teams going to do? They're going to get ready for the season right now with their guys, and just use the other 40 guys as practice dummies. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I really do. You're right. You're right about that. When the preseason games went away, I said it's going to be really hard for some of these late 7th, potentially 7th round picks, but some of these other guys to make teams. That's what I've been saying. It's going to be tough.
And can I interject one more point?
Yeah.
I think about like the guys that came out of college this year. Like the undrafted guys that were banking on, getting those workouts. Some guys didn't even get to have a pro day this year, man.
Yeah.
They didn't get they didn't even get to audition because it's only a limited number that goes to the combine. Am I right? Am I wrong?
Right.
And those are usually the top guys going to be the draft picks. But this year, COVID hit, so guys couldn't be at facilities working out. It was hard to even undrafted guys to show what they had. And it's like now that preseason's been canceled, how are those guys going to get compensated? I don't know if they can go back to the university. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So it's like you had a bunch of kids, young men, come out of school this year and just are in total limbo. Total limbo.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do. Preseason's been canceled, and they're not going to be the guys getting the reps with the ones. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, and what I was looking at in the whole agreement was it said something, undrafted free agents and those invited to camp to try out are ineligible to opt out. And I'm reading this, so it sounds like they're ineligible to even opt out.
Yeah, so they got them by the balls already. So it's like you can't go anywhere. We're going to use you as camp bodies, and when we're done with you, we're going to be done with you. And that is an awful, that's an awful thing, man. Awful.
Yeah, and I need to confirm that line right there. But again, I was looking more so at the college space because I think it is interesting with some of the seniors or juniors that could be higher on draft picks there. Okay, but there's a huge thing going on right now, as you know, with college football. So But
I'm ready to go at my alma mater here in a second. I'm about to start attacking them because I don't like what I see that's going on there.
So back to you, back to the question. So you're a free agent. So it's
correct.
So right now, say a team were to call you today.
And I had a few actually.
And so what did you tell them?
Look, I told them, I even told my agent. My agent tried to ship me off to Buffalo, and I told him I was going to tell this story. He tried to ship me off to Buffalo, knowing my fiance is pregnant. Knowing it's a crucial time, just talking health-wise, protocol-wise, and teams don't have those proper protocols. And he's trying to tell me about NFL facilities being one of the safest when I know it's not, because I see 8-9 guys in the cold tub at a time after practice. I see guys sweat around the building. So it's not the best hygiene because guess what? We're men. You know what I'm saying? We really don't care at the end of the day. Am I right or wrong? And he just like Buffalo. I'm just like, man, no, they're not. I wouldn't feel good as a man and as a future husband and to my kids to leave my pregnant wife to go work out in a time like now because the circumstances are very unclear. And then also I had an opportunity in San Francisco with one of my favorite D-line coaches that I love, Chris Kashirk. I played for him in Detroit and I played for him in Miami. But I can't pick myself up, and I would feel like a hypocrite to take myself all the way across the country to play a game that I still don't feel safe, and I still don't know all the proper precautionary measures that they're taking. And if there even is going to be a season, and going to Cali, you're in the highest tax bracket, so is the money even worth it?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I look. That's how I looked at it. I was like, man, I'll just stay home and take care of my family because it's plenty ways to make money. There's plenty of real estate that's out here that needs to be bought up.
Yeah, so I mean that's interesting. So are you saying I don't know how free agents approach it. So are you saying you would you're opting out, or essentially it's because of
the reason I wouldn't say I'm opting out because I'm a free agent, so It doesn't really matter at the end of the day what I do.
Right.
I have no future contract, so the best thing for me to do is sit around. Hey, if they do have a season, and guess what, guys are going to get sick, and football is the highest injury rated sport. Hey, if I need to go somewhere for a few weeks, then I can do that. I still have that freedom. And it's like I still can preach my message how I want to because, I'm not one of the best players in the league, but I can go out, I can learn the playbook in a day and go play the game of football. It's not hard. I've done it for 7 years for many teams, you know, so it's not difficult.
When's your wife due?
In November, man. So it's actually 4 days before my birthday. So, I mean, I'm kind of finding it very hard to leave my birthday present.
Nice. Honestly, that's great news. Congratulations. So that's big. That's big. You have your wife, she's pregnant. I mean, that's a huge thing. So I get that, and especially health. If you got a call, say the season goes on as planned, and something happened, would you take an opportunity to play for a team? Like later on?
It would have to be worth my while, man. It would just have to be just one of them opportunities you can't pass up, because I'm one of those guys, you know, like I did well for myself over my 7 years. So it's like, you know, I'm not really hurting for money. I'm not really hurting to play the game. You know, I have the opportunity to come in and out when I feel, you know, God has blessed me to that point. So I'm really grateful. But, you know, hey, I might just sit this one out, be an advocate, be the voice that the guys need, and, you know, put in a structure that, hey, if they have questions, they can reach out to me and my team, and, you know, we can get them the answers that they need, the correct answers, and it just be off the strength that just we want these guys to have the proper information that they need when they're seeking it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, so outside of football, so you said real estate. You do a lot of real estate.
Yeah, man, do a lot of real estate. Then done some private lending deals, man. Working on a few assisted living conversions and things, man. So it's like I tell guys, there's a lot of ways to make money, but you got to do it with the right people and have the right structure in place to, you know what I'm saying, to even to be successful, you know. So, and I feel like the NFL, they should offer guys some of those programs. You know, it's like they build big old stadiums all the time. Why aren't players invested into the stadium? Why they can't be a part of, you know, the deals, the TV deals that they have going on? It's like, why guys can't get involved to where, you know, they're making residual income, not just playing the game that you want them to play. You know, that's how I look at life, man.
So a lot of your earnings over the years, they're in real estate. Do you do, like, what about liquidity? I mean, that's always an issue in real estate. Obviously, with your money being locked up in a real asset rather than, say, the market or in cash.
Hey, man, but guess what? You can always refi, man. And, hey, right now is one of the best times to refi. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're right about that. Interest rates are going to be low for a while. For a long
You can always get liquid when you want to, man.
Right, but honestly, that it's not as easy to get liquid when you want to, but you know, and I know as far as refinancing, like right now, it's not as easy as some people think. Not all the time. It's a good opportunity to do that. So, you know, but just my approach, I think liquidity is huge. Real estate's great, but I think liquidity, like a portion of your savings.
Oh yeah, and I agree wholeheartedly. I agree 100%. You have to be liquid in some aspect, and you know, hey. When the time is right for you to do that, you know, you have a great advisor that keeps you up to date on everything. It's like, hey, we need to get liquid in some things. Okay, you follow his lead. You know what I'm saying? Because you know he's not going to let you down. And that's how me and my advisor, we operate. You know, we do deals, we do certain things. And he said, hey, we need to pull some money out here so we can go over here. And, you know, he wants me to be successful. And, you know, he's been my advisor for 7-8 years. So, you know, I trust him. Him.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So do you participate in the 401k and everything?
Yeah, but see, now I have a problem with the 401k. But, you know, when I was in the league, I loved the matches I was getting. But, man, I ain't going to see that money until I'm almost 40, 50, 60. And I'm not even going to get paid one single dividend off that. You know what I'm saying? If the NFL and the PA had it in the IRA, at least I'd be able to see a few dollars, you know. That way I can invest, you know, that money from my 401k or IRA. But, I mean, I did participate, so, I mean,
that's
it's just money down the line for my kids.
Yeah, I mean, that's retirement plan is important. And it's easy, based on your earnings, to max out the retirement plan in within a couple of weeks, it's easy. I think that's the retirement plan is important.
Yeah, and I give that to the NFL. That's still one of the best. It's like you get match for match. There's no company doing that.
So you talked about real estate being an interest in you doing that this year for income and whatnot. What about later in the future? Is it say okay, you still have years in you. What is it going to be? Real estate? Is it going to be other investments? Or what do you see? Where do you see yourself working outside of football? Whenever that time comes.
Oh man, I got a few ideas and I got a few endeavors that I see where kind of see where the future is going, and just with some lounges, and certain things. I don't want to go into great detail because I don't want to give my project away.
Yeah.
And we're pretty much gonna put it in. Me and my team, we're gonna put one in every city, or maybe a couple, because we kind of see where the future is going, and we believe strongly about it. And it's going to be something that helps people, and it's going to be better than the pills and the opioids and things that people are taking. So we're just going to put it into place, man, and see what happens.
All right, I'm interested to learn more, whether it's right, because I know. Well, Sean, I don't know if it's restaurants or not, like those lounges or some other type of lounges, but I know.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be something for the people.
Okay. All right, I got you. I know, because I know Sean, who I mentioned, he made the. Well, he said he got hurt towards the end of his career when he got involved in restaurants. And so I know he has stories about restaurants that he always tells.
Oh, yeah. The restaurant business is dying. It's a dying industry right now, man, because you can't have people inside. People can't go down and sit down. People aren't having big dinners like how they were, and you have all the COVID protocols. So, the restaurant business, that's not nothing I'm looking to get into, man. Nah, not at all.
Yeah. All right, let's go to college football.
Let's jump there, man.
So what's your thoughts about the whole situation going on right now with a lot of these players making a stand, giving their demands, and potentially looking to opt out if something doesn't happen?
I love it. Because those players are actually taking a stand on something, and they're standing by. And guess what? The university has to support them, because between football and basketball, those are two of the highest earning revenue sports. So they provide for pretty much all the sports on campus. So if they say they're not playing, then no other sport can be played. And if those players aren't happy, then it's like, how are you going to force them to play? They're here to go to school first. They're here to get an education. You know what I'm saying? Playing football is second. So I love it, man. I even love how UConn canceled the season, because it's like, if your players feel like they aren't safe, then don't force them to go out there, man, until y'all have the proper structure in place and the proper protocols to where, because you have these kids up in Connecticut, and they're away from their parents. So their parents need to feel whole every night that they go to sleep. And if that's not the case, then it's an issue.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some crazy stories out there. Like a player, it was like I forget what school he played for. He said he wasn't scared of COVID, or like he couldn't be scared of COVID. And then he reported, and he was in the hospital, like he was struggling for his life. And I forget what school is that, but it was a crazy story. But in my opinion, I think college, even more than NFL, even with the movement and what everybody's trying to do, I think if a player has a dream to go and play in the next level, I really think it's like situation by situation. Like, it would be really hard for a guy that's trying to get noticed in college to, if he opts out, that's tough. So I don't know what your thoughts are about that.
Man. I mean, it's like I said, it's a double-edged sword, but, the university has to make the choice. The players, they have to take the stand, but the university has to back them up. So that way the players are actually protected and not standing alone. And, not getting F, not getting the F word, because I don't want to say that on the air.
Yeah, I know for you, I mean, this could relate to you as well. I mean, you've seen it is coaching relationships and relationships with both the NFL and college coaches. They play a huge impact of where you might end up and what opportunities you make. And I've seen some comments from coaches and how some coaches at the college level are looking at it. And it's pretty crazy. I saw somewhere that a player wasn't asked to be with a team, or, he was choosing to opt out. So how big are those coaches' relationships? What do you think the impact of players opting out in college has an effect on the next level?
It's big, man, because you got to have a coach that actually cares and not just in it for himself and just, his ego. He has to speak, because coaches are what? They're actual fathers, when guys are in college and mentors that, guys you're going to look up to. So as coaches are, players look up to the coaches as mentors, and it's like, if those coaches are sending guys out there to be tough, be warriors and everything, it's like, then they don't really care for the player. It's like, you want me to go out here with all this going on, and my mental might not be all the way there, because hey, in college, players are always in contact with their parents and like, hey, this is what's going on, and still being young and being teenagers, we're gonna listen to our parents. So it plays a vital role, man. So you really need a coach that actually sat through the process, thought about it, and just weighs out the option, and not just coaches just looking for a benefit and just trying to make kids go out and play so they can get the earnings and all that jazz, and trying to force guys to go to the next level, because some of the coaches that are in college coach on the next level, so they try to use that as bait at guys, and it's not really good.
So is it going to hurt players at the college level that might decide to not play?
I wouldn't say it hurts, because you can play football anyway.
Yeah.
And if you're talented, the NFL will find you. That's what I learned.
Right. So that's the same.
So go ahead.
Your opinion too, being in the NFL, and what do coaches think about what the comments that you have behind everything? Are you concerned there?
Oh no, man, I'm not concerned, because the one thing I know, man, is I'm a very high character guy. So I mean, I know when I come to work, I'm gonna bust my tail. I'm gonna get everything done, and that's always been my personality. And granted, I've been one of those guys to never really speak up. I just usually observe the room, and I go out and bust my tail. But for a guy like me to speak up now, I feel like the coaches that I have played for, it will hold a lot of merit, because they know when I speak on something, it's true, it's honest, it's no ill malice, and I do my research. So when I'm speaking, I'm not just grabbing stuff out of the air. It's actual fact, and it's true.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the whole situation's interesting. So, have your advisor or your agent, has he given you, or have they given you an opinion either way?
Oh man, they love it. They're all for it.
Nice. No pushback.
They love it, man.
No pushback. No pushback from.
They say no. Just talking to one of my agents, he say, "Hey man, I love it. Just make sure you have your facts and your ducks in a row, and what you're speaking holds a lot of merit. And like I always say, the minority, which is the majority, they need a voice. Because the top guys are just going to be the top guys, man. And just hey, I'm in it here. I'm gonna go make my $10 million, then I'm gonna get the hell out of here."
Yeah. All right. Yeah, so last question. So I know in 2017. With the Dolphins, right? Was it with the Dolphins? Detroit. Detroit.
Yeah, I was with the Lions, man. We was getting after it.
Yeah, so Detroit 2017, you got protests during the national anthem. So, and I saw that your dad was he was denied work. Apparently.
Yeah, and that just showed me the true colors in America, man. It's like for a guy to sit at the top and talk about players like I've seen. He went after the Oklahoma players this past few weeks, and it's like, as players, we didn't unite then, and then we didn't circle the wagons around Kaepernick. And I found it strange that Roger Goodell came on camera and not yet apologize to this man and say, hey, you were right, we were wrong, but they danced around it. You know, that's what NFL, they teach you when you interview, to dance around the question, roll it back to the team, and just kind of keep it real vague and never really speak how you truly feel. And I think that's where guys are wrapped up, and I have a problem with that, man.
Yeah. So is that this for you? Is it even from that standpoint, from a larger meeting? I know we've been talking a lot about health and situation. Your wife. So is it part of that as well? This is similar.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all a part of it, man. It all plays a role, and it's like, if we're not, as players, standing on the same accord, then, I mean, these owners, they can do or tell us whatever. You know, they can fine us whatever money they want to fine us. It's like, who came up with that fine system? You get fined $6,000-7,000 for some socks. You know, for a visor, you know, a dog visor, you're getting fined $10,000. A visor's only worth $100, my man. You know, and it's just like,
Right.
They got everything in place to take our money, but nothing to help us grow, and that's the sad part. And it's killing us. And it's killing our mental, and, you know what I'm saying, in turn, it's killing people in our families, man. And it's just like, either we wake up or we just keep falling for the same thing and just, you know, keep being pawns in their game.
Yeah. It's interesting, man. I appreciate you taking the time.